Evidence has resurfaced of Meghan Markle's alleged, rumoured yacht girl death.
Fergie has all the tea on Meghan Markle, how she really met Harry and the circles that Meghan Markle moved.
What if everything you thought you knew about Meghan Markle's rise to royalty was only half the story? From Hollywood to Windsor, whispers of secret yacht parties, elite connections, and powerful circles are now making headlines. And when Sarah Ferguson dropped a bombshell linking Meghan to Prince Andrew's world, the palace went into crisis mode. Was her journey really a fairy tale, or a carefully calculated climb through the highest echelons of influence? Stick around, because we're about to reveal the shocking truths they don't want you to know. Just when it seemed the royal family had weathered its most turbulent storms, a new scandal has erupted from within the palace walls. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, has ignited a blaze of controversy with remarks that threaten to unravel the carefully polished image of the House of Windsor. Her latest public statements have set tongues wagging, this time casting a spotlight on Meghan Markle's past. But Fergie didn't merely allude to a colorful backstory. She went further, making a jaw-dropping insinuation that ties Meghan to none other than Prince Andrew, the royal most infamous for scandal. According to her claims, Meghan was allegedly his first client. Pause for a moment. This is not a subtle nod to a Hollywood past. It's a direct connection, drawn by a senior royal insider, linking the Duchess of Sussex to a figure whose name has been synonymous with global outrage and a multi-million-dollar legal settlement. Through these allegations, Fergie thrusts us into the shadowy corridors of elite yacht culture and high society intrigue, suggesting that Meghan's rise to royalty was less a fairy tale romance and more a masterclass in strategic navigation through the pinnacles of privilege and influence. The question hangs provocatively in the air. Was Meghan's path from actress to duchess guided purely by love, or was it a calculated ascent fueled by ambition and social maneuvering?
Meghan Markle's past is truly coming back to bite her in the butt. And I am here for it. I am here for it because, Meghan thinks that she can go through life spiting everybody, hurting people, stepping on people, and never coming back to haunt her. Except when one of these people is Sarah Ferguson, who is as bad as Meghan Markle. They're both cut from the same cloth, guys. If you think that Fergie is different, no, she's not.
The phrase Meghan's yacht days has suddenly become a global talking point. But this isn't about glamorous sunbathing or sparkling champagne. Beneath the surface lies a network of connections so incendiary it threatens to shatter the remaining ties between Meghan, Prince Harry, and the royal family. At the heart of this unfolding drama is a discreet, high-stakes gathering in London's elite Mayfair district. It was here that Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, allegedly delivered a comment that seemed casual on the surface, but landed like a strategic strike. This was no idle gossip. This was carefully aimed, high-impact insinuation, BY dredging up Meghan's pre-royal life and even hinting at a link to Prince Andrew's scandal-ridden world. Fergie has effectively launched what can only be described as a reputation-shattering allegation. In the delicate universe of royal associations, connecting anyone to Prince Andrew is akin to tossing a lit match onto a volatile powder keg. Given Andrew's known ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, this isn't mere tabloid fodder. It's a high-stakes reputational weapon. Public opinion of Andrew is already indelibly tarnished. To tie Meghan's history to his orbit casts her narrative in the same shadow, threatening to redefine how the world perceives her rise to royalty. Once Sarah Ferguson's remarks began circulating, a question immediately gripped the public imagination. Was Meghan Markle's rise from actress to princess truly a tale of destiny and love, or a masterclass in navigating the morally murky, high-stakes corridors of global elite society? Fergie's words ripped open this very debate, hinting that Meghan's path to Prince Harry might have been shaped by a world of superyachts, powerful men, and opportunities that few could ever imagine. The palace is reportedly in crisis. This isn't merely a tabloid sensation, it's an existential challenge. The fallout could reverberate not just for Meghan's reputation, but for Harry's life choices and the monarchy's tenuous relationship with its most high-profile exiles. Rumors about Meghan's past have always circulated quietly, but until Fergie's alleged revelations, No one close to her had ever spoken so bluntly. Now, the image of the philanthropic, fairy tale princess faces its sharpest scrutiny yet. This isn't simply a story of an ambitious actress climbing the ladder. It's a portrait of someone who may have mastered the subtle and often opaque rules of influence in the world of the ultra-rich and powerful. Long before the tiara and Windsor wedding, Meghan was reportedly a notable figure in a different kind of game, elite social networking. Central to the whispers now gaining traction is the super yacht circuit. The term yacht girl is more than a casual label. It signals a hidden economy at sea, a space where access to billionaires, magnates, and influential figures could be exchanged for strategic advantage. These weren't simple leisure cruises with cocktails at sunset. They were floating microcosms of power, carefully curated environments where social hierarchies were visible and reputations could either be cemented or compromised in a single evening. Attendance was often by invitation only, and the unspoken rules demanded not just charm, but the skill to navigate complex social networks, reading alliances, favor-seeking, and the subtle currents of influence that govern behavior aboard these luxury vessels. In this environment, Meghan reportedly honed a remarkable ability to observe, adapt, and position herself within the spheres of influence that mattered. Every interaction was a potential opportunity to establish credibility, cultivate a connection, or gain insight into the ambitions and values of those around her. This world, while glamorous on the surface, required a nuanced understanding of power dynamics. It was here, in the interplay between visibility and discretion, that Meghan's social intelligence began to take shape, a combination of instinct, timing, and strategic foresight that would later prove invaluable in the rarefied spaces of royalty on land. Her maneuvering continued at equally exclusive enclaves, such as Soho House, the most coveted gathering place for creatives, moguls, and industry gatekeepers. Membership was not something one could simply buy. It was earned through endorsement, reputation, and rigorous vetting by those already inside the inner circle. For Meghan, access to Soho House provided an unparalleled platform to expand her network, mingle with media influencers, and establish herself as a recognized figure within circles where introductions could be worth more than any audition. Here, Meghan became more than a guest. She became a social alchemist, mastering the art of presence, timing, and influence. Knowing who to approach, when to speak, and how to make lasting impressions allowed her to cultivate relationships that were not just transactional but strategic. This carefully constructed backdrop created the conditions for her eventual meeting with Prince Harry. By 2016, Meghan was already an active participant in social and philanthropic circles that overlapped with his own. Their encounter through a mutual friend may have been framed publicly as a chance meeting, but in context, it reflects a convergence of parallel networks and strategic visibility. Meghan was not entering Harry's world as an outsider. She was already part of the ongoing conversation, present at charity events, galas, and high-profile gatherings that brought her into proximity with the same elite circles he frequented. Her presence and influence were already acknowledged, lending an element of inevitability to their connection. Viewed through this lens, Meghan's journey emerges as a sophisticated blend of strategy, timing, and personal charisma. Her trajectory illustrates not just the traditional markers of ambition, but a keen ability to navigate the invisible infrastructure of influence in high society. Every yacht party, every elite gathering, and every strategic introduction contributed to a deliberate path that combined social acumen with personal charm, creating a narrative that is both enviable and instructive. Her rise was not simply a fairy tale romance. It was a masterclass in understanding and maneuvering through the opaque, high-stakes world of wealth, influence, and, eventually, royal proximity. The overlap between Meghan Markle's social circles and Prince Harry's world raises uncomfortable questions about the official story of their meeting. What the palace presents as a chance encounter now appears, in light of Fergie's comments, as a carefully orchestrated convergence. The question that Ferguson has unleashed is one the monarchy dreads. Did Harry fall for Meghan the woman, or was he, unknowingly, the ultimate prize in a game she had long been mastering? Sarah Ferguson's words sent Buckingham Palace into quiet turmoil. Within hours, advisors were holed up behind closed doors, drafting statements, and weighing whether to intervene publicly or let the storm dissipate. Her remark, perceived by many as a veiled critique of Meghan's past and her path into royal life, dominated headlines and social media alike. Inside the palace, the situation quickly escalated to full-scale crisis management. Communications teams scrambled to distance senior royals from the controversy while preserving the family's meticulously curated neutrality. Prince Harry, sources claim, was furious, seeing the insinuation as a direct attack on both his wife and the principles they've sought to embody since stepping back from royal duties. Meghan, meanwhile, went silent, letting her legal and PR teams assess whether a formal response was necessary. Despite attempts to shift focus to official engagements, the story refused to fade. For the monarchy, the episode exposed a familiar vulnerability: the tension between the institution's traditional image and those who challenge it from the outside. One insider reportedly said, "Every word spoken in public now has consequences, and no one wants to be the next spark in another royal firestorm." Ferguson's remarks, intentional or not, have reignited speculation and scrutiny, blending echoes of past scandals with the public's enduring fascination with Meghan as an outsider navigating royalty. The controversy has complicated the royal family's efforts to project unity and stability. Aides are reportedly walking a tightrope, trying to defend the institution's reputation while avoiding any appearance of internal discord. For Meghan and Harry, it risks reopening old wounds, forcing them to revisit narratives they've spent years trying to close. Critics often label Meghan's actions as manipulative, while supporters view her as ambitious and strategic. Regardless of perspective, one fact is clear: her journey was marked by precision, foresight, and skill. Meghan did not simply wait for opportunities to appear. She actively sought them out, navigating a complex social landscape with calculated grace. Her story is a fascinating study of ambition, strategy, and the fine line between manipulation and mastery. As the public continues to dissect her past, it raises enduring questions. Was her ascent a fairy tale or a masterclass in social climbing? Ultimately, Meghan Markle's journey serves as a reminder that in a world where access and connections define possibility, understanding the game is as crucial as playing it. But to understand the full magnitude of this narrative, one must first look deeper into the arenas in which Meghan's social strategy reportedly took root. Long before the Windsor wedding, she was no stranger to the intersections of power, wealth, and influence. The superyacht circuit, now widely discussed due to Fergie's remarks, is more than a glamorous backdrop. It is an exclusive world where the currency is not just money, but access. Wealthy patrons, celebrities, and business magnates converge on these floating platforms, creating opportunities for careers to accelerate or, conversely, reputations to be tested. Within this context, the term yacht girl has taken on new weight. It hints at individuals adept at navigating these rarefied waters, cultivating relationships that might later define professional and social trajectories on land. Meghan's ascent continued within the sanctums of influence, such as Soho House, the creative world's most guarded playground. Membership is strictly controlled. One cannot simply purchase access. Instead, inclusion requires vetting, endorsement, and recognition from those already inside. For Meghan, being part of this world meant she was not just attending events. She was operating within a network where introductions could determine careers, investments, and media coverage. It was here, among luminaries of film, media, and old money, that she honed the interpersonal skills that would later become the foundation of her public persona. In the dim light of exclusive lounges and private gatherings, Meghan became a social alchemist, understanding that a single strategic connection could open doors far wider than any audition ever could. By the time she crossed paths with Prince Harry in 2016, these social lessons had already been applied. Her presence in overlapping elite circles meant she was not a stranger stepping into a foreign world. She was already familiar with the rhythms, players, and expectations of the spaces Harry inhabited. Their meeting, often described publicly as serendipitous, now invites a more nuanced interpretation. It was not a random encounter, but a convergence of prepared opportunity and mutual context. Fergie's insinuations have now forced the public to reevaluate every detail of that fairy tale narrative. If Meghan's journey involved such deliberate social maneuvering, does this diminish the authenticity of her romance with Harry? Or does it simply reveal a remarkable ability to navigate the often opaque dynamics of elite social structures? This tension between perception and reality lies at the heart of why the palace responded with such urgency. Buckingham Palace understands that once doubts about authenticity are seeded, they can ripple outward, undermining both the family's narrative control and the carefully managed image of its members. Moreover, the public's fascination with Meghan stems not only from her celebrity status, but from her status as an outsider. The British monarchy has historically been resistant to integrating figures who challenge its conventions, particularly those perceived as ambitious or strategically minded. Meghan's rise, therefore, is as much a study in the monarchy's vulnerabilities as it is in her personal journey. Every appearance, every event, and every connection becomes a point of analysis, magnified under the relentless scrutiny of modern media and social commentary. Meanwhile, the ripple effects of Ferguson's comments highlight the monarchy's delicate balancing act. Communications teams must preserve neutrality while protecting senior royals from collateral damage, all while anticipating the relentless public appetite for sensational interpretations. Harry and Meghan's response, or lack thereof, becomes part of the story, shaping perceptions of both authenticity and vulnerability. It underscores a fundamental reality. In the world of royalty and public image, silence is never neutral. It is interpreted, dissected, and politicized. Ultimately, Meghan's journey illuminates the intricate interplay between opportunity, strategy, and perception. Whether critics interpret her path as manipulative or admirers see it as strategic, the narrative raises essential questions about how influence is cultivated and exercised in the most exclusive circles of society. Was her ascent truly a fairy tale romance, or a sophisticated demonstration of social intelligence? Perhaps it was a mixture of both, a reflection of ambition tempered by timing, skill, and circumstance. As the story continues to dominate global headlines, one fact remains undeniable. Meghan Markle's trajectory cannot be reduced to simple labels of luck or charm. It is a case study in calculated movement through the overlapping worlds of celebrity, social power, and monarchy, a masterclass in understanding the rules of elite engagement. And as long as the public watches, analyzes, and debates, the questions Fergie reignited will continue to echo. In a world where connections are currency and access is power, how much of a fairy tale is determined by destiny, and how much is carefully crafted strategy?